Welcome to your daily dose of hope. I'm Phyllis Nichols, and I'm glad you're here. Today, I want to share a story about listening to my intuition. Now, we all have intuition. A lot of us were told not to pay attention to it or to disregard it. But sometimes I do, and I'm learning to do it more and more often. And I'm sure that you've had an experience in your life where you made a decision or a choice to do something, or maybe to not do something, and it ended up serving you well. But you really didn't have a logical reason. You just sort of knew, like, this is what you needed to do. A friend of mine who has children says that she has what she calls a spidey sense about this. And when one of her kids needs her, she just knows. Now, at this point, they're adults, but it still happens. And she's like, I don't have to run to the rescue, but she just gets this little knowing and just knows it's time to just text, check in, see what's happening. She's learned to trust those messages. And I kind of have too. I'm going to share something that happened. This is a real thing a couple of years ago. I just had such a crazy example of this. I was driving to an event to see an author who was doing a book tour, and it had been on my calendar for a couple of months. The closest place that she was going to be was in another city, a couple of hours away by car. And I thought it was worth the drive. I wanted to go. I wanted to meet her. I wanted to go to the event. So this was 2 or 3 months ahead of time. I blocked time off my calendar and made arrangements so that I could go to this event. So the day event arrives, and the appropriate time, I hop in my car, I'm ready to go and feeling good about it. And I'm only about 30 minutes away into my 2-ish hour drive. It was going to take me about 2 hours and 15 minutes to get there. And I'm about 30 minutes away from the house. And I just got the strongest sense that I should just turn around and go back home. And at that time, right as I was having that, I was passing an exit off the highway, but I didn't pull off because it just seemed so weird. I mean, I couldn't figure out why. There was nothing wrong. The car was running fine. There wasn't a bad weather thing. I'm I don't know why. Why would my brain be telling me to turn around? Now, the next exit wasn't for about 10 miles. So while I'm driving, it took me, I don't know, 8 minutes, 7, 8 minutes to get there. The whole time I'm this, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know why this is happening. But as I got closer to the exit, I knew I was just going to take it. I got off on the exit. It's one of those ones where I exited off to the right. I turned left. I could turn left and exit right back on the highway, which is what I did. I just couldn't explain it, but I knew it's what I was supposed to do. And there was no way that I could drive for another hour and a half with these feelings, right? I think as if I would have just continued to be more and more anxious. So as I turned around, I called my husband to let him know I was on my way home and how weird this all felt. But it felt like the right thing to do. And he was like, hey, whatever you want to do, just, that sounds fine. So anyway, I get home, and about 30 minutes after I got home, I get an email from the author's team. The event was being postponed because her flight had been canceled and she couldn't make it. It even said in the email that they waited until the last possible minute to make the call to postpone. So when I left my house, the event was still on. But as I was driving, because I had so far to go, right? I was 2 hours ahead of the event, it was canceled. Now, I know this sounds crazy. It also sort of felt crazy to me too in the moment, but I also know that that was my intuition or the universe or spirit or whatever term you want to use, looking out for me. So I try to pay attention, and I hope that you will too. Your intuition wants the best for you and for me, and I find that to be the most hopeful thing of all. This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.